Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the full No Surrender 2014 preview. This is going to be held on Wednesday night. Wednesday. Don't make the mistake I did of putting off this video. I was basically going to make this video tomorrow and upload it, and then if I would have waited until tomorrow after work, the show already would have been over. I still haven't adjusted to TNA on Wednesday nights. I'm not sure if you or anybody else has. I heard at the first show that they switched, so that they knew there was going to be a loss, and ended up being a huge loss. Made a video what was that fight? Last weekend or the weekend before? Bobby Lashley won his MMA fight. It seemed that if Bobby Lashley would have lost that fight, I don't know if TNA would have excused Bobby Lashley from being on their shows in the future. But basically, they waited until the outcome of that fight to basically, plan what they're going to do with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley hadn't even been, planned to be at Bound for Glory. All of a sudden he wins the fight, and now all of a sudden, now they're promoting Bobby Lashley as the champion of TNA, and that he is going to be at Bound for Glory, and he will be defending his championship. I guess they already know what's going to happen in this one, but they've been building up this match against Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is pretty much the only guy that's in TNA, unless Kurt Angle is going to make some surprise return to the company, where he said that he's going to be out until I believe he said January, but basically this Bound for Glory is in October. And I know wrestlers have worked people before, and I don't think it's going to happen. But if it's not going to be Bobby Roode, I don't know anybody else on the roster who could be a number one contender. I know that it's going to be held in Japan, so you want to have, sort of that Japanese feel. But I've always thought, even though they're going over to Bound for Glory and they're going to be using, the arena that the Japanese company is paid for, and they're going to be using a lot of their talent, and Japan is sort of using TNA to help expose their show to the American audience, as well as help think that TNA is going to draw fans in Japan. For them, this really could be a really big deal for them. But I've never thought that there was a guarantee that a Japanese guy was going to be in the main event going for the championship. If so, I think they're in trouble. They've been using Tajiri for the last two tapings, thinking that was going to be a big deal. And Tajiri really, honestly, to me, has really showed his age. I think they've sort of used Great Muta a lot. I'm wondering if maybe they'll be able to pull that out one more time and see if they'll be able to do it. But basically, the Great Muta it's always fun to watch him, but you can definitely tell by watching him. We've watched him maybe once, maybe two times, and you can sort of see that they're using a lot of smoke and mirrors in his matches to let him do what he does to be the Great Muta. No Surrender as a card as a whole. I think honestly there's two matches that I'm really looking forward to. One, I'm pretty confident in what the results is going to be. Another one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to know who wins that one as well. It was sort of hard to find the listings of the matches that were going to be held on there. This was shot back in August, so a lot of sites that I was finding when I searched up TNA No Surrender 2014 card just basically had the results on it, so I would have to close it out as soon as possible without reading the things that had happened, so I'd be able to make a proper predictions video. The podcasts and the sites that I've listened to have been pretty nice. I remember when they did these tapings, Brian Alvarez had asked Dave Meltzer if there was any news to come out of it, and he talked about it, a little bit of stuff, but he didn't really give the stuff away, because I think, they tape so much when they do those tapings that, if you were to give away something about the end, it's almost spoiling watching anything along the way if you know what's going to happen. But they got Bobby Lashley going up against Bobby Roode. There's the three-way ladder match that's part of the TNA World Tag Team Tournaments, I guess you can say, with the Wolves, the Hardys, and Team 3D, trying to find out who the best tag team of all time is. Chris Melendez is going to be making his wrestling debut going up against Kenny King. The X Division match, Samoa Joe is to defend his X Division championship against Homicide. There's the TNA Knockouts Championship, I guess, Battle Royal, to find out who the new #1 contender to go up against Gail Kim is going to be. Now that I've said all the steps to go along with that match, I think that's pretty obvious on who's going to win that one. And then there's also Bram versus Gunner. I'll start with Bram versus Gunner because honestly, I don't know why Bram and Gunner are having a match. I have known that Bram, the last time I had seen Bram, he fought against Abyss in the Stairway to Hell hardcore match at the what's the name of the hardcore show? Hardcore Justice show. So that was, I think that was 2 shows ago, is when that was. So I haven't seen Bram in a good little bit. Bram's the guy that I like. I know that he was in NXT developmental, and he got excused for some outside of the business reasons. And I think that he's found a pretty good home in TNA. Bram versus Gunner is a little bit funny to me because when I first saw Bram, I didn't know what the difference between him and Gunner was. I can honestly look at them and know that they're 2 different dudes, but I don't see the use for both of them unless they're going to be teaming up. Then they'd have a pretty cool look because they both look the same. But you try to have wrestlers from different places and looks and everything like that, so you're not having 2 guys that you confuse a lot. Bram versus Gunner. I'll pick Bram because I like him. I didn't know that Gunner and Sam Shaw was over. If it is, I guess I missed how that all figured itself out. From there we go to the TNA Knockouts Battle Royal. That one's going to be the debuting Havoc, and she's going to be going up with Taryn Terrell, Angelina Love, the Beautiful People, Brittany, Madison Rain, Rebel, and Velvet Sky. I guess this was filmed before Rebel's broken arm. Maybe this is the match that she does break her arm in, so maybe keep an eye out for that. Pretty obvious that Havoc is going to be winning this one. We've already seen her come in, making her debut, where she attacked Gail Kim, and she attacked Taryn Terrell. Then she came in, and she also attacked Gail Kim once again, where she stole the Knockouts Championship, making Gail Kim go fight Havoc again. So you can see that they're building towards the Havoc versus Gail Kim match. It's pretty much just going to walk through that one. Taryn Terrell, Gail Kim always have good matches. Everybody else that's in that match, maybe Madison Rain. I haven't seen Brittany enough to know if she really can go, but Havoc versus Gail Kim more than likely be your Knockouts championship match. Samoa Joe and Homicide are going to go at it one more time. I know that they've been using Homicide a lot during these New York tapings. He was there for the Destination X show, where he wrestled in the 3-way X Division matches. And still surprised to still see him here, but it still works. Homicide always pulls out a good match. Samoa Joe and Homicide go way back. I'll take Samoa Joe to keep the win. More than likely, this might be the last time we see Homicide in TNA, so tip your hat to him and his career that he's had there. From there we go to the 3-way ladder match where you got the 3 teams going at it. Basically, they set this out as the first team to win 2 matches won the whole thing. The winner of the last match gets to pick the stip of the next match. So I think the first one was just a 3-way dance where the Team 3D won. They said that it was going to be a tables match, which the Hardy Boys won. The Hardy Boys won, so they named this match to be a ladder match. Honestly, whoever wins this, is going to, pick the final match because all the teams would have 1 win. It's kind of funny how they wouldn't play this out to end on one of the super shows, such as this one. So you would, crown your champion as well as crowning the world's greatest tag team as well. But the Wolves have to win this one. I don't see Team 3D or the Hardys pulling out and doing this. I have a little bit of a question about what the final match will be. What kind of a match will the Wolves name? If it's supposed to have a stipulation match, or are they going to do some sort of a tag team I Quit match? Because I guess you can say that Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, 2 sort of submission-style wrestlers, they have that in their repertoire, I guess you can say, or is it just going to be some normal match? Because they're not really known for, ladders, tables. Could it be a chair match? Fuck it, I don't know. I guess just to, sort of give the FU to WWE, maybe just do the TLC. So pick the Wolves in that one. There's no way in the world that Chris Melendez isn't going to be winning his debut. I can see a lot of stuff happening with Chris Melendez. Obviously, I'm hoping that they're going to make him into a serious wrestler, but from watching a lot of videos and people talking about Chris Melendez and hearing people, talk about what could happen with him, one of the funny things was on the Observer podcast where they were going over all of the sort of comedic spots they can do when, he wrestles against guys like Robbie E. or I guess Eric Young doesn't really fit because they're both baby faces. But, those two guys that sort of have comedy in their repertoire that they pull out during matches. You can have guys sort of working over the wrong leg before they realize that the guy doesn't have a leg there, or basically, trying to put a submission move onto the leg, or, taking the leg off during the match, things like that. But Chris Melendez against Kenny King, always fun to see how this is going to work out. And then in your big one, you have Bobby Lashley going up against Bobby Roode. I don't know. I love Bobby Roode. He hasn't been champion for a damn good long time. Since he lost the belt at, I think, Destination X, where Austin Aries cashed it in and gave it a shot at going after Bobby Roode, and then that ended his streak of being the longest reigning champion of all time. I like Bobby Roode. I like Bobby Roode a lot. I understand your little stable of Lashley, Kenny King, and MVP. I don't know what they would have done if Lashley would have lost his fight. I don't know if MVP would have sort of stepped in and stripped Lashley and made himself the champion. His leg isn't even 100% since his injury earlier on in the summer. But it's getting better. I mean, at least he's going out there and he's working on it, and he's trying his best. You can tell he's hurt, but he's giving us all he's got. But I just don't see anybody else winning right now. I think that the whole company was ready to turn on Lashley if he lost, but he did win. So I think they're going to keep planning and moving in the direction that they've been going in. That's all TNA needs, is to basically stop and go in a different direction from here on out. But I'll pick Bram, Havoc, Samoa Joe, the Wolves, Chris Melendez, and it pains me to say it, but I'll pick Bobby Lashley to win the big one and keep the championship. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be Wednesday, tomorrow night. No surrender. Peace out, everybody.